Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Like Tutu mentioned, my name is Sharita James. I'm the Director of Youth and Community Development at the CUNY Urban Food Policy Institute. I have an awesome time creating different food justice programs that engage young people in food justice leadership. And one of the programs that I have worked endlessly on is our Youth Food Educators Program, which is a program that brings awareness to unhealthy marketing in communities of color and also mobilizes young people like yourself to advocate for healthier marketing in their community using counter marketing techniques and tactics. So in this presentation, in this workshop, you're going to learn all about counter marketing, and by the end, you're going to be a counter marketing expert, okay? So how I like to do these workshops, I know being virtual, it's a little bit difficult to be interactive, but I want you all to feel free to be interactive. I want this to be a space where you feel free to share ideas and also learn from one another. If you're uncomfortable putting on your camera, that's totally fine. If you're uncomfortable taking yourself off of mute, that's totally fine as well. Feel free to drop all of your thoughts in the chat. I'll check the chat periodically, and I want to have a sort of dialogue with everybody. So I'm going to share my screen now and get started. Let's see if we could do that. Okay, can we all see? All right, great. Let's make this larger. All right, everybody. So today we're going to be discussing food marketing and counter marketing and learn all about the different tactics that, sorry if you hear any background noise. My daughter is crying, but she's fine. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about food marketing and counter marketing and the different tactics or techniques or strategies that food companies use to make their foods appealing to us, and how they also use very predatory marketing towards communities of color. Some of this you may have already learned through the previous sessions that you've had discussing food justice. So some of the stuff that you hear might be things you already know, but you also should expect to hear some new stuff as well. All right. So welcome everybody. And I like to start off with a sort of activity where I show you different logos and you tell me which companies they represent. So this one right here, which company do you think this represents? And I'm going to be checking the chat, and you could take yourself off mute. Okay, someone said Chili's. Chili's, yes, okay. Chili's, awesome. That is Chili's. The next one we have is this one. Taco Bell. Yep, that is correct. And the last one we have is this one. What do you all think this one is? Yep, Gatorade. So you see how easy it was for us to associate the company or the restaurant or the brand with its logo. And this is actually a marketing technique. It's part of marketing. And this is what companies want you to be able to do. They want you to be able to recognize their brand just by looking at their logos. And so as we go throughout the workshop, we'll take a deeper dive into why they do that and the impacts that marketing has on what we eat. And feel free to stop me if you have any questions in between. That's totally fine. So this one, this is a second icebreaker, but I want to know, what do you think is the most widely recognized food or beverage brand? You could think from a national lens or even a global lens. McDonald's, Coca-Cola, McDonald's. Yep, those are good ones. Yep. McDonald's is definitely up there, and Coca-Cola as well. Those are global brands. And the next question I have is, what are the most common unhealthy advertisements that you see in your community or where you work? Kool-Aid, that's a good one, Dario. Anyone else has any responses? McDonald's, okay. McDonald's ads. Anyone else see fried chicken places? Yes, that is notorious. Yes, like the Crown Fried Chicken and the Kennedy Fried Chicken. Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. So it seems like we have some similarities and some differences. Liquor, yes, liquor is one. That's a big one. Um, yeah. So it seems like we in Dunkin' Donuts, yeah, absolutely. So it seems like we have a lot of similarities and differences. Some of us may actually live in the same community. Some of us may live in different communities, but something that is common is that we all see unhealthy advertisements wherever we live or where we work. So now we are going to talk about food marketing. And I'm going to ask Tutu, if you can, if I miss anything in the chat, to just let me know, because I might be get really deep into the presentation and not be able to check the chat. But yeah, now we're going to talk about food marketing. And so this right here is a sort of graph or pie chart showing how the $1.8 billion that is spent per year on marketing towards children and teen is broken down. So just looking at this pie chart, which percentage do you think is for unhealthy ads? So which percentage do you think comprises of the money that is spent towards unhealthy advertisements? Okay, 40%, 40%, 51%. Okay, you guys are on the right track. So 51% is spent towards sugary drinks, cereals, and unhealthy snacks. 40% is spent towards fast foods. 9% is spent towards other foods, and less than 1% is spent towards advertisements that promote fruits and vegetables. So those would be our healthy foods. So we see that almost 90% of the food marketing budget is spent towards unhealthy foods. And this is one of the reasons why we see a lot of unhealthy marketing in our community and even on TVs, because most of the marketing dollars goes towards the creation of unhealthy ads. And most of those ads are geared towards young people. And when you're thinking from a marketer's point of view, you have to think about what are the ways that we can make more money. And so they market to youth with that mindset in mind, or with that mindset. Um, Youth have very huge buying power because they're extremely influential. They not only influence their peers, but they can influence their parents to buy things for them as well. And some of them are also old enough to make their own decisions over their purchases. So they affect many different sectors, and they can also purchase things themselves. Youth are very connected to media, social media, TikTok, Instagram, etc. And also, when you develop brand loyalty in a person when they're younger, it can cause them to be loyal, lifelong customers. And for example, for myself, when I was younger, there was always this competition between drinking Pepsi and Coca-Cola. And I always loved Pepsi. And even as an adult now, I prefer Pepsi over Coca-Cola. And that's something that these companies want to do. They want you to develop brand preferences and become consumers over the span of your life. And As I mentioned earlier, young people also have a huge impact not only on their peers, but also their family members as well. So they can influence the purchases, the food and beverage purchases in their households as well. So these are the reasons why food marketers mainly target young people. So now we're going to take a look at the different marketing strategies that these companies use. So has anyone ever seen this graph or picture before? You can type yes or no in the chat or take yourself off mute. Yes, okay. Tanzila has seen it. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Dario, no. Okay. So this graph pretty much represents all of the major food companies that produce the foods that we see in our stores, in our food stores, wherever we purchase foods, whether it be from the bodega, supermarket, etc. It's dominated by these 12 companies. These 12 companies have smaller companies within them, but essentially, these companies are dominating the foods that we eat and the foods that are produced. And these companies have to be strategic, very strategic with the marketing that they use, and they have to use a very specific marketing strategy. So these marketing strategy is a company's plan for reaching people and getting them to purchase a certain product. So they have to be very thoughtful of who their audience is, how they want to approach them, how they want to appeal to them, and so they use these different techniques in order to appeal to them. So let's take a look at what those are. So the first one is the use of celebrities. And the reason why companies use celebrities is because, you know, if you're a diehard fan, chances are you're going to purchase whatever that item is that the celebrity is promoting or endorsing. So, say for example, Beyonce used to be promoted on Pepsi cans. There's these popular rap snacks that are going on now that have rappers such as Fetty Wap featured on them. I believe the baby is on there. Exactly, Giselle, like the BTS McDonald's meal and the sweetie meal that's out right now. So yes, these companies are very aware of the benefits of using celebrities to get people to purchase products. Next are claims. So companies use this marketing strategy to make their products seem healthier than what it actually is. So Snapple coins itself or has a slogan that says made from the best stuff on earth. But a regular bottle of Snapple, iced tea Snapple, a 16-ounce bottle actually contains more sugar than a regular size Snicker bar. So when you think about that, is Snapple really made from the best stuff on earth if it contains more sugar than a candy bar? You know, so when you're thinking about that statement, you're probably gonna think like, wow, this is actually something that should be healthy for me, or something that I shouldn't have to worry about drinking because it's made from the best stuff on earth. But in actuality, it's really not if we take a good look at the ingredients list and what's in the product. Another technique that these companies use to market their products is branding. And we did a little activity where we were easily able to identify the logo with the match the logo to the respective company. And this is part of these companies their marketing strategy and their branding. So they want to create very identifiable and easy to recognize logos, and I'm sure that you all are able to identify what these logos are. They're widely seen and widely popular brands. Another marketing strategy that companies use is limited edition designs. And they're very aware that the general public has this sense of fear of missing out. So when something is limited edition, it's only available for a specific amount of time. And so you want to buy it. There's this sort of like urgency to buy it because you don't want to miss out. You want to be able to get this limited edition design. And Coca-Cola had this very unique campaign about 2 years ago. I think it's actually still available. It was called Share a Coke. And the rationale or the purpose of the campaign was to buy a Coke with your name on it and share it with somebody. And everybody was going crazy trying to find, or not everybody, but a lot of people were going crazy trying to find Coke bottles with their name on it. And even if you didn't have, a name that was widely popular, where the Coke bottles printed your name, had your name printed on it, you could actually go on the Coca-Cola website and order a bottle, a customized bottle with your name on it. What's interesting though is that you couldn't customize the bottle with the words obesity or diabetes or tooth decay. Does anybody know why you couldn't customize the bottles with those names or with those words? I want to take a guess as to why you couldn't.
Probably because drinking Coke and super sugary sodas is like linked with all of those diseases.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, say for example, if you were to customize a bottle with diabetes, it would say share a Coke with diabetes, and so they didn't want to have that backlash. And I know, I'm pretty sure that that Coca-Cola is aware of the research in regards to soda and how sugar sweetened beverages can promote obesity, diabetes, and tooth decay. So, in order to avoid any backlash, they didn't allow people to customize the bottles with those words. Another marketing strategy that companies use are creating very catchy jingles and slogans. And what's interesting is that logos appeal to people visually, but slogans and jingles appeal to our hearing, what we hear. And I'm sure each of us have had a jingle or a slogan stuck in our head at some point in time. And that's a strategy that companies use as well. They want to create catchy jingles and slogans so that it's stuck in your mind and so that it subconsciously impacts your desire to want those foods. So we're going to play a little game, and I'm going to read off the slogan or the jingle, and then you tell me which company it's from. So the first one is I'm loving it. McDonald's, yep. And the second one is melts in your mouth, not in your hands. I give you guys a hint. It's chocolate. It comes in many different types. M&Ms, yes, M&Ms. Bet you can't just eat one.
Skittles, maybe?
Not quite. So this is actually a brand of potato chips.
Mm.
Lay's, yes, Lay's. Um, Next, American runs on Dunkin'. This is pretty easy. Dunkin' Donuts, correct. The best part of waking up, this is a little old school. I'm not sure if you guys would know this one. Folgers, yes, awesome. And last but not least, $5 foot long. Subway, absolutely. So yeah, so as you can see, it was fairly easy for us to match the slogan with the company. And another strategy that companies use is using incentives and promotions. So essentially, you'll buy a product in order to be entered into a contest or a sweepstake. Domino's is notorious for this. Not Domino's, Doritos. Doritos chips, it offers a lot of sweepstakes and promotions. Um, Gatorade does it as well as Mountain Dew. Also, on select General Mills products, they have these box tops for education. Has any of you seen these before? Familiar with this? Okay, so if you aren't familiar with it, what's interesting about these box tops is that they're on a General Mills products, their cereals. They're also on some of their. Oh yes, Tanzilla, you remember collecting them in elementary school? Awesome. They're also on some of their cleaning products, and how it works is that you can clip them in order to get 10 cent donated to your school. But what's interesting is that the box tops or these incentives are also on a lot of not so healthy uh, or considered junky food products as well. So it's also encouraging people to buy unhealthy products to get these box tops. Another strategy is product placement. So, how many of us have been at like the checkout aisle at either the grocery store or a convenience store, and you saw a pack of gum or a pack of candy or a beverage, and you decided, hey, I actually want to buy that just on impulse. You weren't coming in to buy those things, but on impulse, you decided to buy it. Yes. So that is a strategy, a marketing strategy. It's called product placement, placing things within eye level so that people can, buy it on impulse or making these flashy demonstrations. And this is one example. This is an example of a partnership between Pepsi, Walmart, and Crayola crayons. It was part of a um, back to school marketing strategy, and this was placed in Walmart in Missouri. And as you can see, some of the Mountain Dew boxes, which is actually a Pepsi product, are in some of the Pepsi boxes as well as the Crush boxes are formulated into Crayola crayons. And so this was not only appealing to adults, but also appealing to children as well because of the Crayola crayons. And the next strategy that I'm going to talk about, it talks about how children influence their parents or adults to buy them certain things by nagging them to buy certain things. And marketers have discovered that using that this is a useful tool to get parents to buy their children's stuff, and also to increase the money that's coming into their companies because parents are giving into their children's ask and demands. So this is called pester power, and through research it was found that about $1 million is spent in the United States by parents per year due to their children pestering them into buying certain products, which is a good sum of marketing dollars. And food marketers also spend a lot of time studying children, studying what they like, studying the advertisements that would appeal to them so that they could influence them to ask their parents to buy certain products as well. So now that we've gone through all the different marketing strategies, we have here an advertisement of Yoplait yogurt. And I want you to take a look at this advertisement and tell me which of the different marketing strategies or tricky techniques do you see in this advertisement. And on the side, I've listed the different ones that we discussed. So feel free to shout it out or type them in the chat. Medina, you raised your hand. You could go ahead if you want to speak. Okay, so Dora is one. 25% less sugar in Dora. Okay. Box tops. Okay. So far we have celebrity. Okay. Celebrity claims and box tops, incentives, promotions. Low fat. And there's two more things. So just in this one ad, about 5 different marketing strategies are used. So they're using celebrities or cartoon characters. Dora and I think Boots is his name. They're using branding. So the Yoplait sign is a branding. The Dora the Explorer sign, Nickelodeon, all forms of branding. Incentives and promotions with the box tops. the claims, which some of you mentioned, the 25% less sugar, low-fat yogurt, vitamins A and D. And it's also a form of pester power as well, because this is an item that's marketed towards children. And so the hopes is that the children will influence their parents to buy this for them. Okay. So now we're going to talk about a different form of marketing, and this is called targeted marketing. So we talked about exactly what food marketing is and how different companies market their products. And now we're going to take a look at targeted marketing, which is a different type of marketing. So targeted marketing is a marketing that appeal specifically to a specific group of people. So say, for example, let's take Gatorade, right? So Gatorade is known to be marketed towards athletes, to people who need to replenish their hydration, etc. And so when you think about targeted marketing, it makes sense, especially if you have an item that is for a specific group of people that you want to reach. So if you are trying to reach, moms, you would create a product that would reach, or a marketing plan or strategy that would reach moms. The unfortunate thing with targeted marketing is that a lot of food and beverage companies create unhealthy ads that target communities of color, specifically African American and Latino communities. And this is when targeted marketing becomes something that is negative, because it's the promoting unhealthy foods to communities of color. And through our research, we've also found that African American and Latino youth experience or see unhealthy marketing the most. And they also receive double the amount of unhealthy marketing compared to white teens. And the reason being is, one, they're more likely to live in communities where unhealthy food marketing is more prevalent. And earlier we talked about, what companies do you see mostly promoted in your communities in regards to unhealthy ads. In addition, African American and Latino youth consume more media than white youth. So on average, they spend 4 more hours on their phone, on the computers, on social media compared to white teens. And last but not least, companies make products, unhealthy products, specifically for African Americans and Latinos. So one popular thing is the Pepsi Limon, which is targeting specifically the Latino community, and also the Wrap Chips, which I showed you earlier, which target African American teens. So those are just a couple of examples, but there are many more. So now we're going to talk about food counter marketing. So food counter marketing is a very interesting strategy, and what it seeks to do is to decrease the consumption of unhealthy foods and beverages by exposing the true motives of food marketing and food marketers. So as we discussed earlier with the different marketing strategies and the different marketing techniques, companies don't want you to know that they use these marketing strategies and techniques, because if you're more aware of those strategies, then you make more informed choices. And food counter marketing wants to expose the different marketing strategies that companies use, and also reveal the things about their products that they don't want you to know. So essentially, food marketing activities go against, or they challenge, the marketing of unhealthy products. So let's take a look at an example of that. So here we have McDonald's logo. It says McDonald's, I'm loving it, or not a logo, a print advertisement. I'm sure we've all seen this before. And here's a counter marketing advertisement. So it says McDiabetes, I'm hating it. So this is going against the original marketing of McDonald's. And it's also exposing things about McDonald's and unhealthy foods that the company may not want you to know. So McDonald's is known for being very high in fat and salt and sugar. not having a lot of healthful elements to it, and eating a lot of high caloric foods, a lot of foods with salt, with sugar, can increase chances of becoming overweight or obese, which has also been linked to diabetes as well. So, the person who created this counter marketing ad wanted you to know is that when you are aware of all of the things that McDonald's if you eat too much of McDonald's, like what it can do to your body, instead of loving it, you may actually end up hating it. So this is what counter marketing does. It exposes things that the companies don't want you to know about their products. And the reason why food content marketing is a useful tool is we've seen it be very successful in reducing smoking among teens with the Truth Campaign. Are any of you familiar with the Truth Campaign? No? Okay. So the Truth Campaign is a campaign that I think was launched maybe about 15 years ago. It's still active, but it was more active back in the day. And it was a tobacco counter marketing campaign that was very influential in reducing tobacco usage and to smoking among teenagers. And the reason why it was so impactful is because it exposed things that the tobacco companies didn't want young people to know. In the past, tobacco was marketed as something that was very cool. It was very cool to smoke. Someone also talked about Camel Joe earlier. So, those the Camel Joe ads, he was always looking so like snazzy and cool and things of that nature. And so it caused people to resonate with those advertisements and influence them to wanting to smoke as well. And with the Truth Campaign, it exposed what these companies were doing. It showed that, some tobacco products even had ammonia in it and certain things that the companies weren't telling you in their advertisement. So because of this, it sort of caused young people to become enraged because they felt that they were being taken advantage of by the tobacco companies. And so the Truth Campaign was developed out of young people wanting to fight back against the tobacco companies and against the marketing to young people. And this image over here is an image from the Truth Campaign that encouraged teenagers to hear, to see, and to talk about what tobacco companies were doing, such as putting different cleaning agents into cigarettes. So why should young people be involved in counter marketing? And one, young people are targeted the most with unhealthy marketing. These companies know, like I mentioned earlier, that you have huge buying power, that you're very influential, and they want to use you for the benefit of their companies. And so because of that, you all should are the best people to go against these unhealthy marketing because you're being targeted the most. In addition, you guys are valuable resources for health communication and promotion. So promoting health, for raising awareness, you're very connected to your communities, to your peers. You're part of this program, which shows that you have an interest in health. And so, it's a great opportunity for you to get further involved in this food justice work and food justice space. And I've worked with tons of youth and young people over the years that have advocated for healthier marketing in their communities, that have gone to give community presentations at schools and at parks and at various community-based organizations such as the Mary Mitchell Family Youth Center and Harlem Children's Zone, and connected with young people and also show them that you can have a voice too. You can take a stand against what these companies are doing. Like I mentioned earlier, you guys are immersed in your communities and you know how to use social media. using TikTok, Instagram, all of that. Just seeing all of the creativity that's on TikTok nowadays like blows my mind. And so, your connection to that is great, and being able to reach other people and create viral media is awesome. And last but not least, you guys are very energetic, passionate, and committed. And these are the people that we kind of need to take the reins on this and be our future public health and food justice leaders and advocates. Let's see what's going in the chat. Yes, Umu. Yes, Umu was part of the farm stand. She definitely was. And she was one of our youth food educator student as well. She's now in college. So just to see her come into our programming as a teen and now in college and continuing to do food justice work has been great. Okay. I think my computer froze. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some youth-led counter marketing initiatives and campaigns. So you could see what some other young people have done and sort of maybe hopefully inspire you as well. But before we go into that, I want to talk about what makes counter marketing campaigns successful and what makes them different from other campaigns. And so some of the content marketing campaigns that you're going to see may contain all of these 8 key elements. Some of them may not, but for most of them, they contain the vast majority, or at least 5 of them. So the first thing that they want to do is communicate the negative health effects of whatever the item or the company is promoting. So like with the McDonald's ad, the counter marketing ad talked about diabetes. So it talked about the negative health effects of eating too much McDonald's. It also talks about how, or brings awareness to how the industry or the food marketing manipulates or persuades people into buying certain products using very different marketing strategies. It also aims to spark negative emotions. So when I say negative emotions, not feeling enraged or like angered, but make you feel like you were being lied to, like things weren't being honest, companies weren't being honest. So that's what counter marketing aims to do, is to show you that these companies were not fully being honest through their marketing. It also mocks popular brands. So like I showed in the example with the McDonald's illustration, it mocked McDonald's instead of the slogan being "I'm loving it." In order to mock the brand, it became "I'm hating it." Um, Content marketing campaigns are also very tailored to specific groups. So for example, if you're creating a content marketing campaign for, high schoolers in the 9th grade, then you would make sure that it's tailored to that group and has the appropriate language, and that whoever you're targeting in your campaign is also part of your campaign as well. It shows how they disapprove of the industry marketing to at-risk groups. So at-risk groups being people who unfortunately in society don't have as much advantages as other people. So BIPOC individuals, essentially. It also establishes a distinct brand. So such as the Truth Campaign did, it had a very distinct brand. And last but not least, it engages whoever their target audience is, or whoever they're trying to reach, in all phases of the campaign. So if you're trying to reach young people or adults, they should be engaged in all phases of the campaign. So from the development to actually carrying out to actually doing research on it, they should be engaged in part of every single aspect of it. So now we're going to take a look at some of these examples, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen because this is a video, and then pull it back up so we can take a look. Okay. Sorry, there's two of them playing at the same time. Okay. Start this over, sorry.
Wow, they really are close to Congress.
Hey guys, do you get the problem now?
So that video or that demonstration was done by a group of young people in Washington, D.C. And if you notice, they were advocating or having sort of like a protest between the American Beverage Association and Congress. And so they were pretty much showing that, you know, there needs to be more or advocating for more policies and laws in place that reduce sugar sweetened beverage consumption. And so it was a very exciting and innovative tactic and campaign that these young people did. And there's another video I want to show you all. This one is a little bit longer. It may be something you've actually seen before. So let's see. Should have loaded this first. Sorry. Okay.
ASC got produce. ASC about to go cool. We gon' go food. Go food. ASC got produce. ASC about to go cool. Women in the kitchen, whipping in the kitchen. I be women in the kitchen, whipping in the kitchen. Chop it up. Chop it, chop it, chop it, chop it up. The slow food got you sloppy, bruh. So chop it, chop it, chop it, chop it up. Chop it up, chop it, chop it, chop it, chop it up. The slow food got you sloppy, bruh. So chop it, chop it, chop it, chop it up. In my hood, there ain't really much to eat. Popeyes on the corner, McDonald's right across the street. All this talk about guns and the drugs, pretty serious. But look at what they feeding y'all. That's what's really killing us. Please change. The food in my school make it good. Get that fake food up out of my hood. Hope the message not misunderstood. Grow and cook your own food, yes you could. Got the little homies in the garden. Got the big homies selling collard greens in the north side. Ain't starving since community cooks been on the scene.
Screaming hot Cheetos and Takis, boy, you better eat your broccoli. Fake food is kinda lame, putting poison in your brain. Need more people at the club, popping bottles of that water, dabbing on that fast food. Pulling veggies out the garden, I go hard, I eat good, and I put that on my mama. Eating healthy schools, and that's where the Miss Obama. Drinking water, living longer, no processed drama. Call me John Deere, shawty, I be growing like a farmer. Dad.
Go food. Go food. ASC got produce. ASC about to go cool. We gon' go food. Go food. ASC got produce. ASC about to go cool. Women in the kitchen, whipping in the kitchen. I be women in the kitchen, whipping in the kitchen. Chop it up. Chop it, chop it, chop it, chop it up. The slow food got you sloppy, bruh. So chop it, chop it, chop it, chop it up. I get the C from the oranges. I get the B from the broccoli. I get the A from the milk. I get my vitamins properly. My food be packed with the minerals. I hope you taking this literal. So when you 65 plus, Used to be passing your physical. Tell 'em. Whether they not believe me. Thought that sugar was sweet. Till I got diabetes. You better rethink your drink. This stuff is not what you think. Get you some water or something. I get it free from the sink. Keep it healthy, but still got that good taste. Got an appetite for flavor and an appetite for taste. If you need a couple pointers, I can get you some help. And then I see you on the cause you need some milk.
Letting you roll with some big dreams, about to make it big on the big screen. Don't pay attention to that TV, cause fake food ain't what you need. Come on the house, let us chop it up. Expensive, let me spin it popular. The youth of the truth ain't no stopping us. The youth of the truth ain't no stopping us. But the health, well, social change, my fruits and veggies be off the chain. Want real food for real people, gonna break it back. Cafe, real money, that's all I need. Get the green, got clean. Wanna make 100 meals, we done cook 100 meals, cause my people gotta eat.
All right. So for time's sake, I'm just going to stop it there, but I'll share the link so you all can watch it, the rest of it later. And that was done by a group in, I believe, Missouri. Okay. So you guys have seen this already. So you know about it already. But yeah, that is actually a counter marketing strategy or a counter marketing tool as well. Have a few more examples to show you all, and then we can wrap it up. All right, so this is actually some counter marketing initiatives that are print images that young people have created. We worked with a high school in Harlem to develop this counter marketing campaign specifically on diabetes. This person wanted to target the older population, and so he created this ad that says, "Here's a little bit of advice that can change your life. Sugar-filled drinks may cause diabetes. Diabetes can make you blind. As you can see, the blind is a little blurred, and it says, don't let sugar blind you." This one was developed by one of our former students in our Youth Food Educators program, targeting Arizona beverages. The slogan for Arizona beverages is "I love big cans," and this person switched it to "I have a broken heart" when it comes to big cans. And there's kind of like a double entendre with this, is that the broken heart also represents, sugar sweetened beverages. Drinking too much of it having an impact on your heart. This one was a campaign developed to target McDonald's, and it's called Two Face. And the young people who developed it wanted to show that Ronald McDonald essentially had two sides. So the one side is the happy-go-lucky clown, and the other side is a deceptive grim reaper who's kind of encouraging you to eat unhealthy foods. And this was a meme campaign developed by one of our young people who wanted to, it was called Hack the Menu, and they wanted to expose the hidden ingredients and calories in different fast food items. And this says, when you found out that one biscuit from Popeyes is 260 calories, and the person is like crying and distraught to find that out. The last example I want to show you guys is something called A Toast to Death. And this was an anti-sugary beverage campaign developed by some youth that we worked with that altered logos and slogans of popular beverage brands to convey or to spread counter marketing messages. And the image that you see is counter marketing Pepsi. And the Pepsi logo, I'm sure you all seen it. On top, it has it's red, and on the bottom, it's blue, and in the middle, it's white. And the young people, they decided to put red skulls in the top. And then instead of, and also altered the Pepsi slogan, which is originally "living for now" to "dying for now." And so they got very creative with the techniques that they decided to use. And they also wore their shirts in the community to spark discussion around sugary beverage marketing in the community. We took a look at that already. And so just to quickly recap, because I know we're coming down on time, we saw that unhealthy food advertisements are very widespread, especially in low-income communities. African American and Latinos are exposed to more unhealthy marketing, especially African American and Latino youth. And counter marketing can be used as a strategy to fight back against unhealthy and predatory marketing. And I hope that this workshop inspires you to do just that. And if you haven't already, I want to encourage you to check out our Youth Food Counter Marketing Hub, which has tons of different counter marketing examples on their on there. So if you are looking for more information on counter marketing, I encourage you to check that website out. And now we'll take any questions or any comments or any concerns that you have. And I want to thank you all again for the opportunity to be with you all this evening.
Hey, Sharita, I just want to ask again my question. I'm curious about what policies or what protections people have. What policies that are in place for advertising to kids and to youth?
As far as for young people and for youth, there isn't any. I know that the Federal Trade Commission was and a group called the Food Marketing Work Group was trying to put some policies in place, but as of right now, there are none. When it comes to food can be widely marketed. There are policies in place to prevent tobacco marketing period, so just not to young people, but to adults as well on TV, and to alcohol as well. But if you look at channels that target specifically young people and children, such as Nickelodeon, the Disney Channel, etc., the food marketing is widespread, nonstop, unfortunately, which is why we need to do more counter marketing and have more workshops like this to bring awareness to what's really happening.
Are there any questions for Sharita before we log off? Feel free to put them in.
I guess my question is also, I know marketing has been, present forever, or mostly since World War II ended, but when did it really pick up with targeting the kids? Do you know?
I am actually not that sure when it did pick up with the children, but I would have to say it's become even more so popular when TV was available.
Any other questions for Sharita? I guess also, is there any way our youth, if they're interested in getting involved with you guys, what's the best way to either reach you, or is there contact on the website, or?
Yeah, so how our programming works now is that we work with organizations like yourself to implement these types of programs. And so we hope that through these presentations and through these workshops, it would sort of inspire your young people to sort of develop content marketing campaigns. We also highlight all the work that different organizations do that they sent us in regards to their content marketing work on our Youth Food Content Marketing Hub as well. And whenever there's opportunities to present at our forums, we also open the floor and give the opportunity for the organizations and their young people to do so as well.
Great. Unless there are more comments, I think we can, anyone, last chance? Great, so this is actually part one of a 2-week conversation. So next week, Craig will be leading the discussion, and he will go, he'll go into a little bit more detail about content marketing, and we'll also have a chance as a group to discuss content marketing and be in breakout rooms. So we are looking forward to seeing that and to like getting our brains thinking about how we all can be involved in counter marketing. Thank you, Sharita, for your time and for sharing your presentation with us.
Thanks for
And
having me.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank
Great.
you.
Everyone, thanks for joining. I put the link to the evaluation in there, but we will see you next week. Thank you, Sharita.
Bye. Take care.
Bye,
Everyone.
everyone.
Have
Bye,
a good one.
everyone.
Bye.